Welcome to BK Academy of Chess. The Stonewall Attack is a variation of the Queen's Pawn game characterized by the pawn formation d4, e3, f4, c3, which is usually accompanied with bishop d3. Not necessarily played in that order. The Stonewall is more of a system than a specific variation. When black builds the Stonewall, for example with c6, d5, e6, f5, it's considered a variation of the Dutch defense. The Stonewall setup is a solid formation which can deliver a lethal kingside attack, typically by playing the knight to e5, advancing the g-pawn to kick the defending knight off its post, and making a well-timed bishop sacrifice on h7, known as the Greek gift sacrifice. Then white brings in its major pieces, queen and/or rook, to the h-file to finish off the job. Often this attack is so powerful that white does not need to develop the bishop on c1. However, the Stonewall leaves a hole on e4 which can serve as a nice post for black's knight, and the wall blocks in its dark squared bishop on c1. These weaknesses can become quite problematic. Black has several ways to deal with the Stonewall, for example trade off the dangerous white bishop on d3, via b6 followed by bishop a6. Set up a kingside fianchetto castle to take away sacrificial attacks on h7. Another possibility is the development of black's slight squared bishop to f5 interfering with white's plans. So let's take a look at the well-known mating pattern employing the Greek gift sacrifice, which runs d4, d5, f4, knight f6, e3, e6, knight f3, c5, c3. The Stonewall, knight c6, bishop d3. With the bishop in position, bishop d6, castle. And with the king castled, white is ready for action. Castle. Knight bd2. White gradually improves its minors, b6. Crosses the river with knight e5. Notice how black cannot exchange the light squared bishops on a6. Because the b knight has already been developed, if the knight were on b8 black could play bishop a6 to exchange off white's strong bishop. The light squared bishop is important because it is the guardian of white's weak light squares and because the bishop is not blocked in by its own pawns. And to make matters worse, the bishop's target is already in its scope. Bishop b7. g4. The g-pawn makes its move. Its mission is to kick the knight off its post. Queen c7. g5. Knight d7. Bishop takes h7. The Greek gift sacrifice. King takes h7. Now it's time for the majors to take over with queen h5, king g8, rook f3, f6, rook h3. Here black still has a fighting chance. Can you find it? How should black clear an escape route for its king? Black needs to eliminate the e5 knight, but with what piece? Black's best move is knight c takes c5. Knight d takes c5. If is weaker, however, all other moves lead to mate. For example with f takes c5. How can white seal the deal? With g6. White covers the king's escape route and now mate is unavoidable. And there you have it, the Stonewall Attack. Thanks for tuning into BK Academy of Chess, where together we build, and over the board we even the score.